Ready Check Radio.
What's up, Internet? Welcome to the Relic Grind, Ready Check Radio's Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast. It's Thursday, it's 7 p.m. Eastern. That means we're doing it live, twitch.tv/Ready Check Radio. If you're listening on Spotify, head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO.com. Make sure you follow all the socials in the upper right. Share, like, sub, notify, all the good stuff. Tell your friends and come join us live sometime. Because we got a lot to talk about. Live letter. We kind of like preemptively went through what we expected last Thursday, and then Friday, the live letter happened. About 3 hours, if you count the breaks, of live streaming goodness from YoshiP's and team, all about patch 5.5 and 5.5x. Since we'll be getting this into two parts, of course, helping me go through all of it, my usual hosts, Mr. Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. What's up, sir?
Greetings, programs. Things are good, dude. It's 1 week away. Less than a week away. I'm so excited. I love patch time.
Yeah, less than a week away. We've got 5 days, basically. 5 days. Are you as excited as Tarkoth is, Adam Lane, a.k.a. Kronos?
Yeah, sadly, I start my new job next week, so I'm not going to have much time to play the patch, but I'm definitely going to find time. I'll have Diamond Weapon killed by Tuesday, into Tuesday.
You'll find time. You'll absolutely find time. We all will. Well, I mean, let's just pick up right where we left off, basically, last week. We had the live letter itself.
Mm-hmm.
We've got all the info now. All the info we're going to get until it launches. The first part, the .5s usually come in 2 parts. So we've got part 1 coming this coming Tuesday, so 5 days from now. And then part 2, late May. I mean, if we had to guess, probably like the 25th. Yes,
probably.
18th feels a little too close to the middle of May. Specifically calling out late May is probably the 25th, in which we'll get part 2. Now, here's the way we're going to do this. First off, I'm going to show the trailer while we're talking here, because the trailer, it was the way they kicked it off. We all expected that. We got the trailer. So I'm going to let that play while we're talking about this. And let's not get into ultra specifics about little things first. Let's talk about the trailer itself, not things we might have found out later in the live letter. Just I want your initial reactions, because I know some of us probably thought the same things. We probably thought Squee Tiamat, Squee Fordola.
Yes.
I mean, there were a couple of Squee moments through this whole thing, and a couple of like, did they really reveal the pilot, or did they not quite reveal the pilot? I can't tell.
No.
Like, it looks like they might have, but it could also be YoshiP just trying to fake people out. Your entire thoughts on the almost 3 minutes of trailer, Tark.
It was awesome. Like, exactly. Tiamat. I was like, yes, Tiamat is free. Thank God. It's only been 4 years. She's finally free. Well, I guess longer than that. She's been in self-exile for I don't know how long. And then Fordola coming back. Yes. We thought the tease about someone coming back and being a main part was maybe a Sinian, but Fordola, yes, give me that. She's awesome.
Yeah, I like how a lot of us forgot, and Tark was like one of the first people I saw on Twitter who was like, holy shit, I totally forgot about Fordola. I totally forgot about Fordola. Happy to see her, but totally forgot about her. What'd you think, Kronos?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because it kind of makes sense that she's showing back up too.
Yeah.
Because like they've been doing like those like letters or whatever they're called, and she like because they've talked to her, she's been like hunting primals down, so it kind of makes sense. They're bringing all these lunar primals in that she's gonna come back to fight them. I think everybody was excited about Tiamat, that finally they're gonna do something with Tiamat. I mean, it took them a while to do stuff with what's the kid's name that I can't think of his name right now? Unokalhai. So now they're finally doing something with Tiamat, which is kind of cool. Probably fighting Lunar Bahamut for sure. I think the pilot's a bait. I think you're.
I think it
right
is too.
I think it's a bait.
Yeah, I think it's definitely
Totally.
a bait. I think
Yeah.
it's made to look like they revealed the pilot, and
Yep.
I think that's a different cut of the cutscene there. That
Yep.
there's, just happens to be in the background type deal. Like, so yeah, I totally think that that's a bait. I totally
Yeah,
think
there's a
that
lot
that's a
of
bait.
Bosnia in the trailer too.
There
Stuff that we're
is.
not gonna get
Yeah.
till like the
There is.
half patch, and then it looked like I'm pretty sure Lunar Odin and Lunar Ravana.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely Odin. I think it was Ravana.
Yeah.
But
And
definitely
Ifrit, of
Odin.
course.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Ifrit.
and Ifrit, yeah.
We also saw snippets of the end of the Yorha raid. Some pretty nifty looking bosses. Of course, somebody real big smacking us around on the platforms, right? I mean, that's become the norm in Final Fantasy XIV lately. We're on a square platform getting slapped around by somebody that's very big and off the platform. But it's got a very, very unique aesthetic to it. Like, it is almost jarring when it shows up in the trailer. It's got the same aesthetic as Nier does in like the hacking sequences in
Exactly.
bosses,
Yep.
which is absolutely fantastic. It looks great, but if you've never played Nier, this part. The first two parts were probably like, what the hell is going on here? But this part is really going to look like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on here? So I hope it'll get better received. We're going to talk a little more about that because there was stuff we were shown in the live letter that further references Nier, but it's not really showcased in the trailer much at all. I got to give the trailer was probably, for me, gentlemen, the best part of the live letter. Because if I'm being honest, I love the live letter format itself, but this I feel like was one of the weaker ones. I feel like this was mid-tier or even maybe a little lower when you compare it to, and generally the .5 is always going to be along those lines because we're just finishing up the 24-person raid, and that's really the biggest bit of content, and we're patching the last few holes in the main story to get ready for whatever expansion. I get it, but even compared to other .5s, I feel like, wow, we literally knew everything that the live letter covered prior to the live letter. And there's usually always that little tidbit. And maybe that's just me wanting more, being a fan, wanting more and more and more info. I'd be interested to see if you guys share the opinion. To me, the trailer was the absolute best part of the live letter.
I feel like the trailer's always the best part.
I second the motion.
But yeah, I mean, we're missing some stuff, right? Some stuff got pushed out, and COVID, and all that kind of news. So like no ultimate news. Although they did show the ultimate, which surprised
The arena,
me.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no real job changes for real because there's no ultimate to balance around. So
Yeah,
we don't
a
really
little
get
bit
any
of
kind of
little bit of
that.
buffs here and there, but even those buffs said you're probably not really going to notice them. A couple percentage points.
Right. I didn't feel like it was bad. I feel like it felt like kind of the run of mill live letter for me, I guess.
So but then you kind of agree because I put it right in the middle as far as live letters, maybe a little below.
Yeah,
A normal expectation live letter. Tark, what about you, sir?
I'm right on board with you guys. The trailer is the best part of it. Give the trailer an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. As far as the patch, the live letter itself, there wasn't anything we weren't really expecting. I mean, what was it? Stormblood. We got Blue Mage information. This we got the stuff we were expecting. New story, new 24-man, expanding on Blue Mage, but nothing crazy and out there that we wasn't coming our way anyways.
We got the full site now, the full patch 5.5 site. Much more used to this type of overall look. Now we've got all of our panes, we've got all the information, we've got all kinds of screenshots. If you check this like after the live letter or the day after the live letter, and you haven't checked it since then, you probably want to go back because there was over the week some even more things updated and some new screenshots added if you're a screenshot junkie. So why don't we do this as far as the big stuff goes? We've kind of got a little miscellaneous category that we'll do in a few minutes, like odds and ends that were talked about in the live letter, right? Like triple triad and things like that. Let's go through the stuff that was talked in the live letter and your thoughts about it, kind of just in the order that it is here on the site. How's that sound? We'll scroll through the site together, and we'll have fun. Nothing really new on the Death Unto Dawn main storyline. We got the screenshots; they're still the same. There wasn't a whole lot in the live letter talking about this, but we do know, Fordola coming back and playing a part in it from the trailer. But other than that, this really wasn't a big topic of discussion. Besides, hey, you're getting main story quests to start wrapping things up for 6.0.
Yeah. I mean, they can't tell you so much, right?
No.
Yeah.
YoshiP was
You can't spoil it.
very careful on this stream, by the way.
Oh, he was
even
like
more
totally
careful.
anti-spoiler.
And he had to be, not just for content, like he didn't make the pull, right? Normally he's like, oh, I accidentally pulled, and we see like the first couple of seconds of a primal fight or an ultimate fight or whatever. He didn't pull this time. My thought is probably because dialogue shows up on pull, that the name of the pilot they're trying to hide probably shows there. But anyway, also because there were times when he was on the 6.0 build. And so, like, even opening menus and shit, he has to be very, very careful because he doesn't want to, like, open his class window and all of a sudden we know the other melee DPS class that hasn't been announced yet and things like that. So it was kind of odd seeing him, like, he always plays coy, but throughout the entire live letter, I think he was almost actually nervous anytime he was demoing something that he was going to accidentally give anything away. Where he did actually walk around and start doing stuff was, of course, the Yorha Dark Apocalypse. We now know the last part of this is the tower at Paradigm's Breach. The aesthetic, again, totally fits with Nier. Might throw you off a little bit as a Final Fantasy fan, but I thought this was just gorgeous. And he did make a point to show that, hey, you can't fall off the sides when you're walking. There's an invisible wall here. But then at the first boss does go, oh, man, it looks like maybe you can fall off of here. So looks like, dragoons don't bother coming. You'll just end up off the thing. But I thought it looked beautiful, and we got to see the first boss. What was it? Jack of Diamonds, I think it was, or Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts, I think.
Jack of Hearts, which is from Nier Replicant. For those that haven't played it, you can go ahead and take advantage of that when that comes out very, very soon here. What were your thoughts, though? I mean, this looked beautiful.
My first thought was like, did they run out of budget and they just can put anything on the walls or in the background? It was very void space.
There is a lot of white space going on here, but again, totally fits with Nier. Totally fits. These big ass hands, Kronos, these got to be telegraphs. I mean, just like look at how distinct those fingers are. I mean, it's gonna
be like angles, right? Where he punches you.
Yeah. Or certain fingers glow to indicate a certain ability. I mean, all of them are very, very distinct, very spaced out, very visual. I think we should throw in one of our miscellaneous items while we're talking about this. Actually, the targeting circle underneath your mobs or bosses or whatever. Mm-hmm. They did say that you don't have to worry about positionals for like the trial. This isn't a positional fight, but then they went ahead and showed the new targeting circle underneath that very clearly indicated positionals. Kronos, so give us the scoop. What are they doing, and how do you feel about the change?
So this is a great change, honestly. So first, all it is on the sides. It kind of shows you which way the boss is facing. And I think this is actually more helpful for omnipositional bosses than bosses with positionals. Because if you've done something like a Castrum, and you do like I don't remember the name of the bird, but the last boss.
Yeah.
When he jumps, he does like a big cross AoE that's untelegraphed. Yep. It's really hard to tell where his butt is. And so this will actually really help with mechanics like that. It'll be really easy to determine exactly where the boss is facing forward toward. And you can line up for mechanics like that on bosses that typically don't have a reticle. Because the nice thing about other bosses, and now every boss will have it now. Is you have that arrow in the front that shows you exactly where the exact front of the boss is, and now every boss is going to have that. The only difference is omnipositional. The arrows inside the boss's like circle.
Yep.
So it's just a good quality of life change. That's something I probably would have never thought of because like I get annoyed by those things, but I never really thought about fixing it. But it's kind of nice that they've also realized similar things and actually have like a solution.
If I'm not mistaken, too, Tark, there's a little tick mark at 90-degree left and 90-degree right, too, isn't there? To show flanking positions.
I actually haven't seen this. I don't even know what it looks like. I'm trying to find an image here. Oh, there it is.
Oh, you didn't see this?
Oh, there it is. I see it. That's nice.
Yeah, it was very
So,
sweet.
frontal arrows on the sides. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Very makes things a little easier for those of you that do have to worry about positionals when the time comes, and just generally makes things a little easier across the board. I'm kind of amazed it hasn't always been there, but
right.
Yeah,
it's one of those things you're like, wait, that wasn't already there. I would have thought if you would have told me that was already there and I just had it shut off, I totally would have believed you. Like I totally would have been like, oh shit,
Mike, it's always been there. Okay?
Yeah, I would have been like, Tark, yeah, that's
okay.
fine. Tark, tell me how to turn it on. That's fine. Yeah, I would have totally bought it.
What if you have to turn it on? What if it's not default?
No way. No way.
I sometimes hate going into the system menus in 14.
Not a lot on Peglathon, though.
No.
Yeah, well, like I actually
like nothing.
Thinking through the live letter, I don't think it was even mentioned besides new dungeon.
Yeah, it's a 5-5 story dungeon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't spoil anything. I mean, we saw the bosses. So.
Yeah, and the gear looks sweet. I do like that gear. Everybody's got a midriff. Everybody showing off those belly buttons.
Word.
Except the Lalafell.
Yeah, well, and the oh my god, you're right. My eyes just like totally skipped over the Lalafell.
It's okay. Everyone skips over the Lalafell. Dude, it's fine.
Everybody trips over the Lalafell too.
So bitter. Where we did spend a lot of time was the trial, Chronicles of a New Era, The Sorrow of Werlet, and the Cloud Deck trial itself, which we will have a savage version of. Diamond Weapon fight. We got to see it, so we saw, well, I guess we didn't see it. We saw the opening cinematic that will play at the beginning of the fight. And then we saw Diamond Weapon sitting there waiting to be pulled. A bit different from the shot that we've gotten here on the Cloud Deck that we talked about last week, where it looks like on pull, he's not in the middle there. These two platforms are together making one platform, and Diamond Weapon is, on the side of one of them. Oh, and by the way, everybody wanted to know... Like, oh, is he going to be part of it? Is he going to be? Yeah. He's holding the platforms up, so you can't see him. You can't see him.
Yep. Viewer is right underneath.
Yep. Yeah, he's underneath, holding the platforms up. So we kind of speculated last week, like maybe this would be a ring-type fight based on this image, or that there would be jumping back and forth between these two platforms with the Allegan switches type deals. But it looks to be that, and based on what we saw in the live letter, it's not always the same platform from beginning to end through the fight. The platform modifies for some reason or in some way during this fight to end up from what we saw in the live letter to what we see in this screenshot, Tark.
That's sweet. I can do all sorts of different mechanics with that. Half room cleave? No, you need to jump across, and I can't just run.
That dragoon in this image is definitely dead.
It's dead. Yeah,
100% dead.
That's just a full thrust. He can move.
They're gonna be like, I can evade into the jump spot. Nope, overestimated. I'm off the edge. Bye.
I kind of like the idea. I mean, we saw this with Cloud of Darkness, right, where the platform was basically mobile. I mean, the platform itself didn't move, but the squares fell away, right?
Yeah.
And so the environment was constantly changing. I think, though, Kronos, there is a delicate line on that where it just becomes more annoying than it is clever and unique use of mechanics.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they're kind of easing their way back into these type of mechanics. Because, like, I mean, not to sound old, but back in the day, you know, there were mechanics where you screw your uptime. Like, you're going to back there and you're doing, you're on like Mirror Knight duty in Twitania, or like, you're the bard. You have to kite the Renaud for like 30 seconds. And now, granted, that stuff sucks. Don't like.
Yeah.
I don't want that stuff back. But I do think that before this current tier, they had gotten a little bit like reserved when it comes to that, because a lot of people don't like when their uptime is messed with in this game. You'll learn that
Yeah.
if you raid.
Yeah.
But I do want arenas to be more interesting, and I want more mechanics that do stuff like this because it's more fun. Like, yeah, you'll figure out how to get uptime around all this stuff anyways.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of glad that they're doing more stuff like this that's kind of more interactive with the arena, like Cloud of
Yep.
Darkness and like what this seems to be.
A
Which is
mechanic
really
doesn't
cool.
always have to be initiated by the boss.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I like when the
Environment.
environment has its own mechanics too. But I'm with you. There is a delicate. I'm a black mage main and a red mage main, right? Jesus, like you can't take this too far. Otherwise, don't bring me. You know, like seriously, if I have to dodge the environment 80% of the time, there is no reason for me as a black mage to be there. I can't possibly parse well DPS wise simply because it's so. I get it. There's a delicate balance, but even as a black mage, I'm saying I would like more of this, and it looks like just our speculation based on what we saw in the live letter and this singular image that we see, that clearly during this fight there looks like there is some type of platform design change. Now, whether it changes the dynamic of the fight or anything, we'll see.
The other thing he said too was he specifically mentioned that we'd be capturing the diamond weapon instead of
Yeah, the
destroying it.
translated
That's-
name of the quest, was based on capture, not destroy.
Which then also makes me think, is the pilot thing a bait? It's hard. I'm not sure. I feel like it's a bait, but if we're capturing it, it makes me think that she's in there.
Should
So who knows?
I don't know. What do you think, Tark? I mean, Kronos and I gave our opinions when we were talking about the trailer. So we're
Mhm.
totally baited, or story wise, does it make sense for the capture to be who we think it's going to be?
Oh, I think we're gonna attempt to capture it, so that we can use it against the Guardians. But ultimately, it's not. We're gonna fail in that, and we're gonna have to destroy it, and it's gonna be more sorrows of Werlit and another child down. Sad face.
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's going to be fun, though. And you get a Savage version, so at least you'll
Mhm.
have that. You know, no ultimate, but, you know. I think, oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later. So, next up, Save the Queen, Battlefield 555. One of the things Kronos had mentioned earlier was we got some stuff pushed back that usually would have been in the .5, and now it's in the .55. This includes Zadnor, the new area for the Save the Queen Battlefield conclusion and events. Now, we do know quite a bit about this, actually, for something that is going to be in the .5 at the end of May. We know about the zone size. We know that about the 48 person. We know the changes being made to the current 48 person to become 24 to 48. We know about changes to bad luck against dueling or getting picked for the duels and the triggers. We know that advancement is going to go be from rank 15. They're adding from 15 to 25, so adding 10 ranks. In addition to that, there's going to be some type of horizontal progression after you hit level 25 or rank 25 there as well. We also know, obviously, it's the conclusion of the Relic. We all expected that. Yeah, so we know quite a bit about something we're not going to get to play about at all on Tuesday, Kronos.
Yeah, I mean, they always, when they have the half patches, they showed like Blue Mage and stuff in the last live letter, or the last like trailer, even though we didn't get it till later. But yeah, I mean, I like what I'm seeing. I really hope that you can queue up for the new 48 man instead of like Casper, but it makes it sound like it's in the instance, so I'm not sure if it's going to be the same. But all this stuff sounds good. It's just like a second zone. It's going to be just like the first zone, new lost actions stuff.
Mhm.
And then a lot of this stuff should make the Savage easier, just naturally, which will be kind of cool to get people to go. And then also taking it from 48 down to 24 should get some more people involved.
Yeah, and they kind of alluded to, they didn't come out right and say it, but they kind of alluded to that some of the new lost actions are really going to make damage numbers redonkulous.
They're already
for the current
redonkulous.
stuff. I'm talking about for the current stuff, making those numbers even more redonkulous when you come back to run, Castrum as it is now, but you have the new actions and things like that. So it's gonna be nutty. I mean, it's already nutty. But
it's just for like skill. Like
yeah,
because I don't know if you're aware, but in the Savage, you can send someone to do a 1v1 and they get a buff that doubles their damage.
Yep.
Okay. I've had samurais in my parties do 100,000 DPS. So like if they're adding more stuff, like yeah, we're gonna have samurais in Delubrum doing like 200k. The bosses are gonna like disintegrate.
Yep, they're just gonna melt.
We're gonna have an item squish. Might as well break the system as much as you can with this fun stuff on the side, and then
it's fun though.
won't go down.
Like experimenting with that stuff is a lot of fun. Like using the big abilities. Like I don't know if you've had a chance to use Flare Star and Black Mage, but that ability is really cool.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and it's like almost experimental. They can like play with stuff, and then maybe we might see something similar.
It's almost like a PTR. It's like their own live PTR for class balances and abilities and things like that.
Yeah.
Ishgardian Restoration also patch 5.5. Custom deliveries coming in 5.5. We already talked about these. The Mog that people were carrying above their heads. Yeah, apparently something you're going to be able to get, and YoshiP encourages you not to throw them at people.
I'd rather throw a Lalafell.
Oh. I don't think
they're potatoes. They're soulless potatoes.
I don't think
that Lalafell's strong, dude. Look at that Lalafell carrying that big. That bug was like 10 times his size, dude.
I don't think Adam would like you throwing the Lalas.
I get punted all the time. It's fine.
See, he's used to it.
You can't walk around Limsa and not have people like kick you and pet you. It's
They don't have souls. They don't have feelings. It's fine.
There's an outfit for you. New custom deliveries, by the way. There's an outfit. Blue velvet with Jaguar print trim.
Wow.
That's quality right there. Like, I almost think she's looking at him like, what the fuck? What are you wearing, buddy? What are you wearing? Unreal getting swapped out. Somebody got this one right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, somebody got this one right.
Good call.
Good call.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? It was the only thing I could think of. A Realm Reborn, where both tanks had at least some type of mechanic that they had to do, and the healers or a healing mechanic of some type was in the fight. It was, my options were limited. So
yeah, it was either this or Ifrit. So I'm glad it's this versus Ifrit. But
the only reason I didn't think it was Ifrit was because really, I mean, as long as you can survive the damage increase, you could one tank that. In the original forms, and since they're based on the original form, so we're going back to the World Eater. We're gonna fight Leviathan. I actually really like this fight when it came out. I'm eager to see the Unreal. He did show this a little bit on the live letter. Cronus, what did you think?
I'm excited. I like this fight a lot too. Leviathan was like one of the first extremes I did, because by the time I got to, I was a little bit late to get into 50. So this was like one of the first ones where my FC brought me in. So I have like a lot of memories of Leviathan. So I can't wait for people to get feared off the edge. I can't wait for people to not hit the button on the thing. Also, if you fall off,
I was far enough to the side. I shouldn't have fallen off.
Yeah, you fall off, you're not coming back. You drown. You can't get raised.
Nope.
So
you gone. Are you a fan of the Leviathan fight, Tark?
I am. I love that fight. With my ex, though, we were doing it together, and she just couldn't wrap her head around where the body slams were coming from. So she would always go to the wrong end.
She wasn't following the water spouts.
Yeah, gotcha. And there's audio cues too if you have good audio.
Yep, you listen to what you hear.
She just couldn't do it. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
PlayStation Open Beta also next Tuesday. Tark very happy about that. PlayStation 5 Open Beta. And this is where I think the live letter got a bit ridiculous.
Just a little bit.
Little bit. So, I mean, if you come to the site and you watch the trailer or you come and you look at these images, they do look beautiful. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this a few shows ago where they basically had to redo all of the skill icons, right? All of the hotbar icons and everything in the game because they weren't made to be viewed with that much resolution, 4K resolution. So they had to redo them while still keeping the style of the original. Go to the site if you have a 4K monitor. Fantastic. Go look at them in 4K. I'm looking at them in 4K, but the stream is only in 1080. And that's where...
It doesn't work that way?
That's where Square kind of ran into problems, too. They wanted to show off 4K by having a PlayStation 5 running on a monitor and then have a camera on that TV, on that monitor, and then the stream was only running in 720p because they were having tech issues prior to the stream. So this definitely lost a little something in translation, trying to show they're getting like close-ups of icons and hotbar icons and stuff. And you're like, yeah, it looks like 720p. Well, yeah, because the stream was 720p. Oh, Yoshi P, I love you, but that was not a good
tech demo.
Yeah, when you put a camera on a television, automatically you're doing things wrong. There's so much compression at that point. But anyway, they go to the site. They do look beautiful. They showed off the loading times too, which I think obviously everybody knew the loading times on the PS5 are going to be a lot better with the whole SSD situation. But man, they were lightning quick. They were.
Hell yeah.
They weren't lying. Now, we should put a little disclaimer on there. When they showed this, Yoshi P was on the 6.0 build of the game, loading in and out of places in Limsa, and nobody else was there, right? So,
yeah,
still, proof of concept. They are going to be very, very quick, which, Tark, I've played on the PS4. I've played on the PS4 Pro. You play on a PS4 all the time when you play the game. The loading sucks. I mean, it's not horrible, but it sucks.
It's better now that I'm on my PS5, but getting the enhancements is going to be super sweet.
Yeah. I mean, your loading time is improved there, but it's still noticeable because you're playing the PS4 client on the PS5.
When I was playing on the PS3, I'd load into Mordona, and which at that point was the hotspot. Get a book, read a couple pages before that loads up. Now I can count to 5 probably and be all loaded. It's awesome.
They're buffing the PC load times too.
Oh, you spoiled it. That's where we were going to go next. For you PC players, Kronos and myself, and many of you watching, we are also benefiting from this, where we will now get the game in 4K as well, native 4K, not upscaled 4K. We will get the decreased loading times, the increase in loading performance. We will get a lot of these things that are specifically being pushed for the PlayStation 5 version of the game. We will be getting them on PC as well, which is fantastic. So now it's not even a question for us, Kronos. We can do the same thing when we're chilling and just running dungeons together. 4K. Savages, 480. Put it in 480 and go for performance, baby.
Damn, Skibby. Give me those 60 frames per second.
Dude, I don't know if I've done Savage at 480. That's next level, dude.
That is next level right there.
Pixels. Go all the way down to pixels. Let's do it. 16-bit. Let's go.
Just text base it. It's just a text-based Savage. It's just...
Whoever has the best words per minute.
Whoever can type best.
I'm done. I'm out.
So this did look good, but it was very, very silly the way they tried to demo it. You're just going to have to check it out and check out the website. I mean, the trailer looks phenomenal. We've seen this before. I used it as B-roll on last week's show, or the show before it. It does look phenomenal. Go check it out if you want to watch it in its 4K glory and look at some nice images. Explorer mode getting updated in 5.5. New performance action, so you G-posers have some fun. Lots of stuff for you to do on this front. Look at that. That dancer that looks awesome. That is awesome.
Word.
I think he's like peacock feathers on the pants. I mean, if you could call these pants, but they are in the pants item slot, let's say. New Game Plus update. So take a look at this. Eden headed to New Game Plus. Oh, what's this? Oh, that looks pretty. That looks.
Yeah, it's nice that we get to replay that. Finally.
Yep. So some of the Sorrow stuff and the Eden stuff moving to New Game Plus. And then Dark Apocalypse are going to New Game Plus in 5.5. So the 24-man dungeon. Then we get to Adam's favorite part of the live letter, the new mounts. This will be your reward here for getting all of the trial mounts in the 5.x series. Adam, before show, you said the only one you have left to get is, of course, Diamond Weapon. I'm sorry, this is Diamond Weapon's mount.
Yeah.
We're going to show next the one that you get for all the 5.x trials. But this one looks pretty sweet, too.
Yeah, actually, I just remembered why this live letter is actually the best live letter ever. They showed like 8 new mounts.
Oh, yeah. And hold
Mount Heaven.
The big thing we want to talk
Yeah.
about there. Let's hold it for the miscellaneous stuff in a minute.
But yeah, I'm just missing this one. And so once I get this one, which who knows how many runs that's going to take me, probably a lot. Then I'll get my mecha.
Then you'll get this bad boy.
I can't spend the totems yet. I'd have to wait like a full patch for that. So I got to get them out. I got to get it as a drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the fact that this is a 2-seater is pretty sweet. So
this looks incredible. I mean, I could go without
Flying
the big
Fortress.
I could go without the big, like, spike bayonet on the headpiece there. I think I could go without that, but looks phenomenal. Robo Dragon, Mecha Dragon.
Mecha
Yeah. What else we got here? That's pretty much it. New trailer. We do have some new images added, like I said, this week. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go ahead and check out the site. Get your fix, because you've got 5 days before we are all queued up and ready to go into 5.5. Now, some other miscellaneous pieces. We talked about the instrument, the new instrument that was going to be added. Then they wouldn't tease it. And now it's going to be delayed anyway, so don't worry about it. If you're
Womp womp.
Womp womp, yeah. If you're a fan of the instruments, those are going to come in 5.55. But since we're talking about mounts, lots of mounts were showcased. Adam is correct. And many are going to be purchasable with Gil, which is a relatively new thing in Final Fantasy here. They said very expensive. Very, very expensive. So one, as a mount collector, Kronos, how do you feel about them being purchasable with Gil? So basically anybody can earn them in theory. And what is in essence the biggest Gil sync that has ever been in the game being added to the game. Because I'm a little bit on the side of this game needed a Gil sync.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it definitely. I mean, I have tons of Gil. I mean, I don't know why. Like, I do all the crafting and gathering stuff now. It's not like I need the Gil, really. Like, I could just buy it. It's just more me like looking for something to do in the game. I'm glad I did now, depending on how much the stuff is worth. Like, I'm not like super flush or anything. Well, I guess I am by most people's standards, but if these things cost like 25 mil a pop or something, I'm gonna be broke. So I hope that they're not that expensive, but maybe they will be, and maybe that'll give me something to work toward. As far as like spending Gil, like there are mounts that are sellable now. Like a lot of the more rare mounts actually are sellable.
Well,
People
there's
just
a
don't want 'em.
difference. That's why I said this is relatively
Right.
a new thing. There's a difference
Right.
between me getting a mount and being able
Yeah.
to sell it to you and mounts being
Yeah.
sold by
For sure.
NPCs in the game, which
Yeah, and
this
these-
is the latter.
I would assume that you probably can't even market board these. Probably just buy them and then you probably can't even put them on the market board. So you have to like spend your own Gil on it.
Yeah.
Maybe not though. Could just be able to trade it. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me. Like I said, it actually gives me like if it does end up making me broke, it'll give me a reason to try to make more Gil. which
Which,
like I think
which
I
is
think
good all the way
needed.
around, because then it gets more crafters doing their thing to put more and gatherers to put more things on the market board for me
Yep.
to go and get, that I don't have to worry about going to go get something or doing a piece of content I don't enjoy because I need, lamb fuck fur, whatever the hell it is. Go to the market board. What, you guys don't buy that stuff? It's all I search for on the market boards anymore.
What do you use that? What do you craft?
That's
with
none of your
that?
damn business. Now, the
But he really wants the high quality lamb fuck fur. So
no, that stuff's too pricey. That stuff's
that's
too
too
pricey.
pricey?
I'm not
Okay.
that posh.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm fine. Ferris resubbing a 6-month streak on the lamb fuck fur. Ferris, thank you so much. Anyway, it's like, a stimulus package, right? All the money starts moving around, which generates stuff going on in the economy. It's a net good. The game's been sorely lacking one for a while, Tark.
Yeah, the only major gill sink that there was in the game was houses, and good luck getting one. So yeah, this is going to be much needed, and I can't wait for them to start doing minions with this too. Yes, please.
Yeah,
More
I mean, you're
minions.
right. Housing was meant to be the gill sink, but
Mhm.
it never quite caught up to demand to be able to be the end game gill sink. So
Yeah, it's
new
too
mounts. Also means new MGP prizes in the gold saucer as well. So is everybody stocked up on MGP? I'm seriously behind. I don't know the last time I actually did Jumbo Cactpot. Like, I used to do it religiously every week. Now there are days where I don't even do mini Cactpot. Like, I'm like, oh shit, I haven't done mini Cactpot in 3 weeks. It's just, oops.
I remember to go to the gold saucer when I get a triple triad card I need to sell. That's about it. Otherwise, I forget, and I don't get my minis done, and I don't remember the last time I've gotten my numbers for the Jumbo Cactpot, but I keep forgetting to reclaim
To
it.
go
so I don't know
check.
if I've won or not.
He's just like, here's a couple 100 MGP. I don't know. I got it like that. I don't even need it. Did I win? I don't know. I threw the ticket away.
Y'all pick up your Wondrous Tales, and then after 2 weeks, you realize it's expired. You pitch it, you go get another one, and then you wait 2 more weeks.
I do my Wondrous Tales every single week. That's my main source of MGP.
But not as Cactpot.
But not my Cactpot.
I'm always locked and loaded on MGP because I don't know when they're gonna drop like a 2 million MGP
Yeah.
mount.
No,
So,
you definitely have to be the way you do mounts. You're like,
yeah.
I got my Cactuar mount. Now I'm just gonna save this stuff up so I'm already ready when I have the next one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Blue Mage hotbar can be saved now.
Awesome.
Mercifully. Why you couldn't before is one of the things. Like, if you would have told me that you could, I would have believed you. Just like the targeting circle. If you would have told me it was there and I had it shut off, I would have believed you.
Mike, it's always been there, right? It's always been there. You just got to go into your settings and turn it on.
We should note here, by the way, too, highly recommend saving, if you're playing on PlayStation 4, saving your UI files to the cloud so that you can drop them into your PlayStation 5 install once you install it for open beta Tuesday. Now remember, on that open beta, planning on it being a couple of weeks long and then just launching. There's not going to be really a lot of fanfare or length to this thing unless something goes massively wrong. Then there will be a little bit of a delay, but plan on it just being a few weeks. But get your UI settings and your hotbar stuff saved onto the cloud now so that you can just pull it over to the PS5 on Tuesday. Some other odds and ends here we'll go through quickly. Some of them we've already kind of mentioned. Achievements can now be accepted in menu. Thank God. I always hated this. I mean, it does put Jonathan, out of a job, Kronos. He's going to be standing by a waterfall now in Gridania doing nothing. With the exception of newer players. He's got the veteran rewards still. The rewards you used to get for subbing X number of days. And
The achievement points, right?
Yeah, these ones don't matter for us. We're not getting these things anymore. We are long since removed getting these. But newer players, you still will have to visit Jonathan. Gentlemen, we no longer have to say hi to him. You can just simply claim your achievement rewards in menu. About damn time.
Awesome.
About
Word.
damn
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. As a mount person, I'm tired of like going back. Every time I get an achievement mount, Gridania's looking old.
I'm not going to lie. Embarrassing story here. This was way back, like in A Realm Reborn. I actually filed a ticket for not getting a reward because I did not know you had to go see Jonathan to claim the reward. I still have the email I got back.
Save that for posterity.
Yeah, I saved. Maybe I'll bring it on the show sometime and read it. It is very politely, "You're fucking dumb." is what they very politely and professionally said to me. Triple Triad 4-star cards being adjusted. Now, that was really all we walked away with from the live letter. That was
true.
That was that. Like we knew that they were getting adjusted in some way, and they also said that the acquisition rates were being adjusted. And the reward for having all the cards was going to be implemented in 5.55. That was it in the live letter. So we kind of were coming into the show going, how are they changing 4-star cards to make them more useful? Well, it turns out a dev blog came up on the site. And see, this is why we do this. Take the live letter, get the stuff over the next few days, then do the show. Not do a special thing on the... Like, if we do a live reactions thing, that's fine. But some people ask why we didn't move Relic Grind from Thursday to Friday night so that we could cover the live letter. Because there's always more details over the next 72 hours after the live letter. This was one of them. What they're doing is you can now use 1 5-star card and 2 4-star cards in a deck. That used to be 1 and 1. Now it's 1 and 2. And then 3-star or rare, or 3-star or less, there's never been
It used to be 1, that's it. It was either a 5 or
a 5 or a 4. Yeah. Now you can use 1 5 and 2 4s.
Yeah.
This is a pretty big change. It's a pretty big change to the way the deck's going to work. I don't know if it makes the 4-star cards more useful. I just think you're going to use more of them. And I think it's fair to say that those are two different things. Using more of them and making them more useful are two totally different things. We're also getting a lot of quality of life improvements across this spectrum, too. The fishing menu is being changed around. There's an emote list revamp coming so that you can search for things. Thank goodness, because that list is too damn long. By the time I find the emote, sometimes the moment has passed. The moment has passed. So that's the deal with Triple. I think I'm the only one of the three of us that actually plays Triple Triad, right?
I play. I'm not missing that many cards. I'm actually like pretty much only missing the tournament cards now.
Yeah, I still have a few cards out in the world. They're just people that have bludgeoned me over and over and over and over again. I'm like, well, I'll come back. And so I still have a few more to do, but I will definitely be going for the 5.55 achievement here. I actually really like Triple Triad.
I do too. I actually, like, when I get really bored, I play it. But like, I really
what a ringing frickin' endorsement, Adam.
Yeah. When I get really bored, I'll play Triple Triad.
So
they're one of my Tark. You're one of my favorite people. When
that.
I'm really bored and tired, I like talking to you.
It's better than like Lords of Ravignon or something like that, which you're never gonna touch. Like, at least I play it. It's like, if I'm not like, there's just so many other things that I enjoy in the game. The Triple Triad's like way down there. But I really hope this reward doesn't include the tournament cards, because that's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Well, I think it does, because it's like collecting the whole set is what they.
The only reason why it might not be is because those cards are always at the end of the number list. They have like their own weird like page in the Triple Triad. So I don't. They might count them like it for sure. It might just count, which I don't want to have. Like, those tournaments only appear once every 2 weeks, and then you got to there's like 4 of cards, so that's like the card you need. If you miss it, you got to wait like
Well, they've made those
3
easier
months.
though in the last patch. Remember, they're
That's the no. You're thinking of the different tournament. I'm talking about the ones that you still
The
have to
big
do
tournaments,
bi-weekly. That give you like
the big
got you.
gold saucer ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I know
those
what
are
cards
still
you're talking
there.
about now.
Yeah, so like it's like Cecil, Titus, like those cards, and like yeah, you still have people that are like win trading and stuff. So it's
Yep.
like really hard to win because of that.
Collision detection update. This was kind of interesting that they talked about this on the live letter. Kind of, good time to do it, right? You're going into the PS5, into 4K, all of these types of things. Also, in addition to those, with the PlayStation 5, 3D audio, new trophies, and of course, they're going to be using the haptic feedback on the controller. That's all going to be supported as well. The collision detection thing I thought was a pretty interesting grab, and it makes sense to me because when you increase the resolution, then any discrepancy in collision detection between what's happening on client side and what's happening on server side is more noticeable anytime you start increasing the resolution of it. When you hit 4K, yeah, you can't cheat as much as you might have been able to back in the PS3 era. So it kind of made sense to me that they were going to be addressing this. But I also think this is something that's not really going to provide immediate benefit for us right now. There were a lot of changes between the PS3 and the PS4 era that were made that didn't immediately impact the game for improvement-wise until the PS3 stopped being supported and development continued without having to do it. Then you can look back and say, oh, some of these things they did really set the stage for this. I feel like this is one of those things. Yes, you had to do something if you were cheating in some way that people weren't able to notice on a wide scale right now, but would in 4K. It addresses that. But I also think this is, Tark, more of that. You like to use the term technical debt. This is that let's set things up for the PS5 and the PS6, right? And the 3080s and the 3090s and all of this stuff that's coming down the road. Let's start future-proofing now. I think that's where the dividends for these types of changes pays off. Maybe not next week when the patch launches.
Yeah, you got to take baby steps to get the game moving in the future and in a forward direction. The little things that to get PS3 out in the rearview mirror as much as possible, and I expect by 7.0 we're probably gonna cut out the PS4. So they got to keep moving forward with the technical debt, and try to streamline these processes as much as possible. Otherwise, they're just going to be so many layers that it's just going to be they're going to have to make 6 months per patch. So
Well,
every
that
little
brings up an
update
interesting
helps.
point. So let's lock in some predictions here because I actually think we go to 8.0 before PS4 gets cut. If you look back between PS4 or PS3 to PS4, we had like a 4-year gap when the PS4 started to be supported or playable and when the PS3 ceased to be supported. That happened in 2.0 through 4.0 in that period. So 2 years for each expansion pack. That is, or 2 dot whatever. And I think this is, so I apologize. I misspoke. It wasn't quite 4 years. I think this one is going to be about 4 years because I think they're going to spend the first year and a half with very few PS5s. It's just such it's hard to get the damn things right now. And I think YoshiP and team are smart enough to say we should not even be remotely looking at dropping PS4 in this expansion or the next expansion. That's where my 4 years comes from. Sorry. 2 years for 6.0 and 2 years for 7.0. Yes, they'll take it away at some point. The PS4 audience is just way too big right now, and the PS5 audience is way too small and isn't likely to increase by numbers of import for at least the next year to year and a half, Kronos. That's my view. I think 8.0 is where PS4 would go away at that point.
Yeah, I'm probably so because I'm right along with you. Probably like it's got to go at some point, I guess. But
Yeah.
I haven't really heard the same level of complaints yet like PS3, like there was just it was awful. So
Oh, it was.
like I don't know, like maybe like, but if there is stuff that's like holding them back from like things they want to develop, then yeah, they should work toward it. But I'm wondering if they just don't let it hang around for even longer, just to throw people a bone that maybe never get a PS5. I don't know though, but I do agree that if it's gonna go, it's probably like 8.0 ish area. I'd probably say like 4 years. Yeah,
Tark, do you think
that's
it could
good.
go away as early as 7.0? I just think that that's way too early given stock levels, and that there isn't such a drive to get off the damn platform as there was with the PS3.
No, you're having it in people's hands. That didn't even factor in my brain. So thank you for bringing that up. So yeah, if they can
That's
get
my
the ship
job.
right
That's
with
my job.
PS5s, yep, that's your job. If they can get the ship right with getting PS5s out there, maybe. But yeah, you might be dead on that. It takes 2 expansions before this.
Yeah, and Ferris is
they carve
absolutely
it
right
out.
in chat. This tone may change when the PS5 is generally available.
Yeah.
Which that's my whole point. I don't think that's going to happen for the next year and a half. That's when it'll become generally available and start being adopted on a more normal rate. And then from there, you have what doesn't make sense to do it 6 months after that happens. So you just tack it onto the next expansion, and that puts it at 8.0. Yeah, you do have the consideration of when and if Xbox comes into the conversation too, as far as Final Fantasy XIV being on there. Crafting's getting their own fates called FETs. Yay. That's about it.
Crafting FET.
Yeah. That's about it.
They didn't say anything about it.
I mean,
It's the giant Moogle thing.
yeah, that's the Moogle stuff.
Mm.
Ishgard. Gotcha.
Yeah, Ishgardian Restoration. We talked
Did
about
we still
Save the
get
Queen. We
Skybuilder?
talked about the Unreal. We talked about Near Boss. I specifically had in here Jack of Hearts to let you guys know that was Near Replicant because I know neither of you had played it. We talked about the arrow facing the. Some additional news for you. Hatching Tide starts this week.
Whee!
Or next week, sorry. Next week.
No mount, no minion.
No mount, no minion. Sad
outfit,
face.
though.
Outfit's
Yeah,
pretty dope.
you can't dress like
and you
a
can
chicken.
dye it. And you can dye it.
Can you really dye it? I didn't even look to see if you could.
Metallic gold chickens. Let's go.
Here's your chickens, guys. There's your chickens.
So we can do a pig. We can do a frog. We got chicken.
And then we got tabletop confections and the egg pouch. Yeah, so have fun. I mean, I'll do it for the stupid achievement like I always do. It's so funny. Like I'm so like blasé when it comes to events. All it takes to make me go, yes, Hatching Tide is starting is to put a little box right here that has a minion in it.
Yep, same here.
If you do that, I'm like, sweet, Hatching Tide starts next week.
It's just some like egg
So
that we already
excited.
have. It's like a different color.
Yeah.
It's like
Doesn't matter. It's a new minion.
Yep.
same for me.
It's
dude.
another number on that.
They
Absolutely.
could make about like white that was red, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get
Let
it.
me get some. Get some. Oh, I did want to show everybody this. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. We have the Rainmaker Reborn. If you have been missing this hairstyle, it is coming back. It is coming back. Rainmaker Reborn. Square Enix actually tweeted yesterday, or Final Fantasy XIV tweeted yesterday, we have an update. Hello, hi, everyone. We are pleased to announce that Modern Aesthetics Rainmaker will be making a return in patch 5.5 as a prize exchangeable at the Gold Saucer. Thank you all once again for your patience. That is back. Tark, you gonna sport the peacock? You gonna sport the peacock?
Well, in my group, we call it the pineapple hairdo. So
I can see that.
No,
I could see
no,
that.
I got my cool monk looking do with the rose on the side, so I'm good.
I could see that.
I'm not one that collects the hairstyles or the emotes really. So.
I'm not either. Well, you guys know I very rarely glamour to begin with, period. So I have never gone to change my character's appearance except when the one time I used Fantasia. That was it. Then I changed. Like I never go to the anesthetician or whatever, beautician or whatever the fuck they're called.
Esthetician.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
You had it right the first time.
No, I think I said anesthetician. That'd be somebody that puts you under.
You need one of those in 14.
Last thing on Final Fantasy XIV. If you did not see this, then yeah, I'm gonna put a link in Twitch chat right now for all of you. So if you were watching the show live, here's bonus material for you. Maybe I'll put it in the description underneath on YouTube. Maybe. If you're good, YouTube. If you're good. Put some likes on the video and I'll come back and add it. We get to 20 likes. I'll add the link. It's not like anybody couldn't just Google this shit now that I'm going to tell you what it is. But 20 likes. 20 likes.
Hit that like button. Leave us a comment.
Subscribe. Notify. YoshiP is such an awesome person. He took to Twitch not to talk about Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, no.
That would just be normal.
That would be normal everyday stuff. He went to talk about making cookies. Gave
this
his
isn't
coffee
a euphemism, right?
Gave his coffee cookie recipe to the world.
He is a
entire
Renaissance man.
recipe is available online. 20 likes and you'll get the link. Otherwise, Google's not going to tell you where it is.
300 G's? What is this G thing?
That's grams, you stupid American.
That's funny because I deal with grams and
right. I know your job.
the...
You deal with all that because your job is like, hey, we cater to the globe, so we got to stop being stupid Americans. So if you are looking for a coffee cookie recipe and the directions, YoshiP went onto Twitch and hosted his own baking show. It was absolutely fantastic, absolutely incredible. Like if I could just like a dude more, like that would have done it. Like now, I just want to give him a hug. Just give him a hug. Give him a hug. YoshiP is such a phenomenal guy. We don't have a ton of time, guys, but we're actually a little over. But I feel like, yeah, we'll go to your hips. It's a coffee cookie. I feel like we do have to talk briefly about Outriders because all three of us have been playing it since it released. We're all at various levels of progression. And we've kind of given our initial opinions, and now that we've played it more, I'd like to come back next week and talk a little more about Outriders in depth. Then because we've really only given our initial impressions after playing it for a few days last time. But I do think we should touch on some issues that the game had during launch. The weekend was rough. It continued into the week. Luckily, I wasn't impacted too badly. I mean, besides when the servers massively went down, and then we had to wait for them to come back on. We talked about the UI issues. Some people have been experiencing inventory wipes and having to have them restored. Like, I haven't had any of that. I have the UI, but every time I've gone to lobby and come back, it's been fine. So just to give you some info on that front, on Reddit, they did post today a number of updates to patch news on patches for crashing and matchmaking issues that are coming soon. There's going to be a community appreciation package for all of these issues. So to be eligible, you have to have played between March 31st and April 11th. You're automatically eligible if you've played at least once in that window. All players, if you are outside that window, but you had to have an automatic inventory wipe restoration performed on your account, you are also eligible regardless of dates. And your highest level character is going to receive a level appropriate legendary weapon, a level appropriate amount of titanium, and the emote frustration, which is otherwise unobtainable at this moment in time. The irony here was not intentional, says the team, but it was fitting. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Ferris wants some basic opinions, says, I'm downloading it now, lol. Is it worth playing? Yes. Yes. 100% yes from me. If you like looter shooters or looter games in general, Diablos, the Division 2s, any ARPG, any looter shooter, yes. If you don't like that style of game, no. No, because it is 100% down that lane. Also on this front, we have rebalancing coming, multiplayer stability patches coming, and launch connectivity post-mortem. There's a whole thread. You definitely should check it out. All in all, I think I love me some loot, download it. All in all, have you looked at the numbers, Kronos?
Which numbers?
For Outriders.
Like stream?
I have not, no.
Steam, you mean?
Yeah. I put them in chat the other day. All-time peak, 125,123. All-time peak. That actually happened just a few days ago. It was ironically the moment I linked it, it happened to hit the all-time peak. The 24-hour peak is still over 87,000, and in less than an hour ago, 70,000 people were playing, and that is just on the Steam platform. I say this because another game we bring up on the show is the whole reason why I put it in the chat, because I ran a Steam charts comparison of the Avengers, but I didn't compare it to Outriders. I compared
it to...
I don't even want to say that. Like, should I say this
Do
on
it.
a recorded show? I
Just do it.
compared it to the Outriders demo on Steam,
Oh, man.
which still had over 7,000 people playing at the time. I compared it to Avengers, who was, not doing so hot. Right now, if I got to run the comparison again.
I just think of Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Marvel Avengers have just been like, I'm not dead yet, and you just want to beat it over the head, so it just lays
Marvel's
down.
Avengers on Steam, 695 players. The Outrider demo, 2,900 players.
So I talked about this with a friend today. So there's a fighting game on Steam that people have been playing again, Guilty Gear Plus R.
Yeah.
That game is about 16 years old. Can you check that for me really quick? I'm kind of curious if that has more than Avengers right now.
What is it? Guilty Gear?
Guilty Gear Accent Core. And then search that, and then there's one called like
Plus R?
Yeah.
Yep. And on Steam charts, that is currently at 405 playing an hour ago, 427 peak in the last 24 hours, and the all-time peak 2,330.
Yeah.
Which was a long time ago. But yeah, you're right. Like all of a sudden in October of last year, it just went nuts.
Yeah, they changed the netcode and stuff. But like what I'm saying is that game is 16 years old.
It is just shy of where the Marvel's Avengers is right now. It's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
Oh,
but did you hear they're adding new cosmetics and a camera mode? Let's go do Let's go do Love It or Leave It. Like, I gotta feel bad for a bit. Like, there's people behind these games, and as a software engineer myself, like, I always try to remind myself when I'm bashing a game or saying something critical that there are people behind but
yeah.
Good Lord. The Avengers. Love It or Leave It, the segment where we take anything Square Enix related, one item. Could be in a game, could be a press release, could be a decision the company made, whatever the hell I want to talk about. And I bring it to the team here, and we all decide whether we love it and want more of it or leave it and are going to throw it away. This time, I ask you specifically, got your basic ideas at the top of the show. But now you got to make a binary decision, brothers. Love it or leave it. This live letter, specifically, not the process itself, live letter 63, love it or leave it, Kronos.
I mean, pretty sure this live letter had more mounts in it than every live letter I've ever seen. So I'm gonna keep it simple and say that I love it.
You're so easily bribed.
He is.
I can't,
But
dude. Come on, we
just
can't
because
say
he's a
anything
no.
the other way. Like if it's a minion, we're like, yay!
Yeah, minions.
And they showed minions.
They did. Yeah.
There's a
I want that
minion
dolphin.
on the new 5.5 site. Sits right on your damn head.
There's two. There's the little baby dolphin too.
No, is that on the site though? I didn't see it on the site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
You
I have to
click
go
the
look.
picture.
I have to
Little
go
baby
look.
dolphin.
What do you got, Tark? Love it or leave it?
For the same reasons I said earlier, there was just nothing that was unexpected. The only thing that I had a question about is what was the Unreal. So I'm gonna give it a big fat leave it because there was nothing there that I needed to even tune in. Let alone that it was 4 a.m. for me. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I gotta go with leave it too. That's not to say again that was totally disappointed with the live letter or anything. It was just blah for me. The trailer was obviously phenomenal, but that was the first 5 minutes of the show. We got to see the trailer basically twice because they queued it up, then they talked a little bit, and then they queued it up again. It was phenomenal. Love the trailer. The live letter was fine, but I got to leave it for something that I got to get up that early for and spend 3 hours sitting there watching. There wasn't anything in it that we didn't already highly, highly suspect, if not flat out know. So it was just a mediocre live letter for me. So I'm going to leave this one too. We'll be back, though, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. No stream after the show today. Faye is feeling a little under the weather, so hop on Twitter and give Faye your best. Give her some cheers and some good vibes. We'll be back next Thursday. I'll be streaming tomorrow night here as well, so make sure you're following twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio so you get all the notifications. Until then, Kronos, where can everybody find you?
I mean, did you see the gold Namazu mount? How could you not like?
Are you gonna try and argue this?
It's fine.
You gonna try?
Twitter,
you trying to sway opinions on love it or leave it?
He had a mount hotbar, all right? Look, the man speaks to my heart, all right? Did you see the mount hotbar again? It was a cross hotbar.
Oh, my goodness. You're such a simp for mounts.
But, Twitter below.
Follow him on Twitter. Tarkov.
You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Tarkov Gaming. Also on the weekends at Ready Check Radio. We're almost done with Dragon Quest XI. And by the way, Mike, that feature you're looking for, it's in the game. You just got to get to your settings, okay? So get to your settings, and you'll find that feature.
Sweet. Awesome. I'm super pumped. Thank you. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at Magic Man 1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO. On Twitter, so you get notified every time we go live for one of our 3 podcasts, or any of the streamers graciously volunteering their time to hang out with you. Stay safe. See you on the server.